We start off the round in primetime Thursday night with old rivals the Sharks and Dragons. Star Emma Tonegado faces her old side, which should add to the drama. They were very good against the powerhouse Broncos last week in a game that went down to the wire. It's essentially a must-win game for them. They're still alive in the top 4 race, but need some results to sort of go their way.
Absolutely. So going against your old team, I'm thinking about Emma Tonegado in a new position, going against her old team. She moved so that she could get that position. She's really going to dig it in and up her game. She did last week in the second half, getting that amazing try out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And I think that she's going to do that again this week.
And the Dragons, should we talk about? They came off a big win against North Queensland. One of the many positives, live wire fullback Tegan Berry only scoring 1 of their 9 tries. So this boded well for Jamie Soward's side. I know he's looking for a number of attacking options, and they're starting to show, but some injuries as well.
Some injuries as well, but Alexis Tuaniai, unfortunately, I don't think that she'll be back this week.
We've seen him do this before, name players and then pull them out.
Exactly, and I don't blame him for being hopeful and waiting till the very last moment because Alexis Tuaniai has been outstanding for the team.
What a season she's had.
Yeah, and you do not want her sitting out if you can help it. But same time, they're playing great, so maybe it's okay to rest her. Who knows how that will all work out. But Tegan Berry, I think that she definitely got stolen, a try stolen out of her hands.
Yeah.
There was a really close one there, and I'd call that a try. But, you know, just to add to her tally, I think she made 20 tries on that game. That was a record.
She's got the record, and she's setting the benchmark, isn't she?
She is setting the bench. She's leading the benchmark and doing it very well.
Yeah. All right, on to the Saturday morning games now. It's a doubleheader in Newcastle. First up, the West Tigers hosting the Broncos. 3 big ins for the West Tigers: Rakea Horn, Sarah Togatuki, and then the co-captain Kezi Apps. This will certainly bolster the side.
Yeah, I think last week not having a couple of those players in the team really had them not winning the game, to be honest. It would have been the difference between a win and a loss. But Tess Daines, who's returned, and she's going to be on the wing. I think that she's done a great job coming back into the game. Her first game was hard. Her second game, she's settled in a bit, and you can see her doing a really good job now. So I'm really happy that she's back and settled in.
Yeah, less pressure on the wing as well, with Bo Welsh, of course, having a couple of games now back at fullback. So
so that team that they've named, although they have a couple of a debutante from last week coming back in the halves.
Still no Emily Curtin.
Still no Emily Curtin.
And
yep. Exactly. I think that it is a team that looks more settled and more at home for them in the way that the players are spaced throughout the team. So I think they'll go well.
Let's have a look at the Broncos. I thought they were very strong in attack last week. Perhaps Scott Prince has had a word to Aneta Claudia Nuasala because she's just taken over. She's taken charge of this forward pack. Outstanding game again.
Yeah, absolutely. You could see her winding up early on in the season, but the team had not settled yet. Obviously, they weren't getting their results yet, but I think that they found their stride and their rhythm, and they really are gelling well. And so now her runs are really becoming something that damages the team. So the team that she's running against. We've also got Gail Broughton, who is settled, I think.
What a game.
Yeah, what a game. She was just having fun and playing around out there, smiles everywhere, tricky little steps. Eyes up footy. And it's great to see where she can blend in really well with Ellie. So I don't know if it's because Ellie had a head knock the week before and Gail was like, I really need to step it up for her, or whatever it was, but she definitely did.
Combination starting to click, and it's scary for everyone else in the competition.
It is, because they're going like this, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right, our next game, it could just be the match of the year so far. It's 1v2, and potentially the minor premiership is on the line. To the Knights first, and how about Tamika Upton? She's really hitting her straps at the right time of year. I felt like she took it on herself to bring back that 10-point half-time deficit against the Raiders last week, and in the end, Newcastle did it in style with her and Jessie Southwell leading the way.
Yep, so the reigning champions are really warming up into the game. I think that they took it up to the next level, the game just gone. Players from their outside backs are really starting to up their game as well. Shanice Parker and Roach on the other side. I think that they're outstanding athletes, and now they're getting comfortable and they're stretching themselves a little bit more, and they're really making the difference in the game.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting against the Roosters because we've probably said on paper 1 through 7 Roosters team so strong looking at it before the season started. But that Newcastle 1-7 is matching them. And we're going to get to see it in the flesh on the weekend.
This would be the game of the round for me personally. Playing the Roosters last week as the Eels, I can see and feel where the Knights can do some damage in the Roosters defensive line.
There could be some holes.
Could be some holes.
All right, let's look at the Roosters now. It is a big loss. Jess Surgis not named. For now, she's in the reserves after failing to finish last week's match. It is a pretty handy replacement, though, Jamie Frassard, to come off. I mean, that shows the depth of the Roosters.
Absolutely, and their team, the Roosters team, the key to their success this season has been the seamless interchanges and the depth. And I think Jamie has played in the centres, she's played in the wing, and done a stellar job at it. And that's a lot like
club.
Exactly.
Coming up against.
Yep, her old, that'll be good. Add a little bit of fire to it. But every single one of those players in the backs can just transition through any position.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a great game.
It is going to be a great game.
I dare ask you who's going to win, or is it's just too hard to tell?
Like, Roosters have been on their really good track and trend so far, but I think that they could be in for a harder assignment than they think.
Great stuff. Let's move to the Sunday games now. Another doubleheader, this time at Cbus Super Stadium, and it's the Cowboys taking on the Raiders. Let's look at North Queensland's team first. They've had a tough last 3 weeks. Could this just be a case of a learning season for the new club? I mean, I believe they've got the biggest number of rookie players in the comp.
They do. They have, I think, 22 out of 27 players that have relocated.
Wow.
Yep, and like you said, huge amounts of rookies in that team. They started off well. So just because they've lost the last few games, we're looking at them like their season's going downhill, but they are that kind of team that can come back at any time. The games are close. Moments within the games that they have been playing have been magic, and it's just stringing the consistency together.
Yeah, that's it. Over to the Raiders, and they've really matched it with the Premiers last week. Coach Darren Borthwick would have been happy, but maybe a little frustrated with the final result. This is a game they'll need to win, though, to keep their finals hopes alive.
Yeah, and Raiders have also come out the gates at the start of the season so strong. And just grown every game since then. They were looking like they would be a team that was going to be in the grand final, right?
Yes.
So with knowing Darren Borthwick, he will have a plan. He will be nuancing all of those small things that they need to fix up, and they will definitely fix them up against this team.
The two big names, Samaima Taufa and Zahara Temura, they've just really led the way. I mean, they've taken everything on board that was probably needed when they were signed.
Yeah, leadership, captaincy. I feel like they've built their team around them, but there have been an amazing amount of players who have stood up as well, like Grace Kim, Holly Sophieman, Mackenzie Wiki as well, a debutante.
Yeah, it's exciting.
She's been really exciting.
Nichols on the weekend, what a game.
Uppy Nichols and Shaq, she has come back to the game after a break with something to prove, and it's been really exciting watching her and her skills that she's brought into the game too, being an old soccer player.
Good game to watch this one.
Good game to watch, yep.
Our final game of the round sees your team, the Eels, take on the Titans. And let's go to the home side first. It was another strong showing last Sunday against the West Tigers. This is a team firmly entrenched in the top 4 right now.
Yeah, they have had those golden point wins, right? Kept it really exciting and tight. But now I think that they're ready to kind of run away on the scoreline.
This could be their opportunity.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I want that to happen against us, but I feel like they've got that confidence behind them to do that. But of course, Parramatta Eels can do everything they can.
Yeah, well, Ivania Paleta, for example, I mean, she's going to have to be one that you'll be putting the
focus point for sure, as well as Jessica Alliston, Destiny Mino Sinapati.
Yeah.
She's been amazing to watch as well. Again, she's had her time off the field, had her time on the field, and proven herself every single time she's had an opportunity. And Jamie Chapman is always one of those players that just pulls something random out of the bag in the game that matters.
Yeah.
So.
Be a good game. Georgia Hale should mention as well. She was outstanding.
That was the other name I was trying to ring up.
The try that she scored.
Tries, work rate, tackle count.
Yeah.
captaincy, the way she leads.
Yeah, the leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, let's go over to your team, the Eels. I thought there was a lot of encouraging signs against the Roosters, but still a tough one, showing the difference, I guess, between a team that's young and learning and that experienced outfit in the Roosters.
Yeah, so I was at the game cheering my team on, and it looked like a totally different Eels team out there in the first half, especially the first 10 minutes,
That's
and then
right.
the next 15-minute block than what we've seen all season. And I feel like we really settled into the way that we can play. Like the margin that we went into half-time with was the smallest margin for the Roosters so far, right?
Very competitive.
Exactly. And we definitely shook them in meeting them at their defensive efforts and attacking efforts for the first 10, the intensity, 100%. So for us, we've built, the score did not reflect the battle.
The final score didn't really look at what happened during most of the game. And some of those young forwards, I feel like they're really stepping up and being forced with Elsie Albert going down for the year to take on a bigger role, and they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got Tyler Amiatu.
She was really good.
Such a new player.
Yeah.
And it just shows that when you give these new players who you know have talent, opportunity, how fast they can grow.
Yeah.
A matter of games. 3 games, she's gone from a debutante to actually one of our go-tos, needed, game changers.
Yeah. That's good to see, and that's what going to the 10 teams was all about, was giving people who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity, a chance to shine, and they're doing it across all 10 clubs.
I believe so. I don't think that there's any club that has fielded players that are not shining.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Thanks so much, Chantel. As always, good luck this week as well, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. See you next week with a win.
I hope so. If you want to get to any of the games this round, you can simply go to nrl.com/tickets, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Bye.